Chapter 13, 80, Location Exposed, Translator, Atlas Studios, Editor, Atlas Studios. Shadow Sect might have been thoroughly beaten, with Spectral Soul captured and only Ying Wu Shi and Sixth Hair remaining as viable split souls. But it still had many resources left behind. Immortal goo and immortal materials only occupied a small portion. The keys were immortal goo recipes, immortal killer moves, immortal goo houses, and so on. There were massive amounts of immortal goo recipes, countless immortal killer moves, and even 12 construction plans of immortal goo houses. Profound Ice House, Unbreakable Iron Fortress, Blood River Chariot, Nightmare Castle, Green Wave Pavilion, Weaving Cocoon Manor, Golden Altar, Regret Pool, Sacred Feather City. There were also clues to all kinds of true inheritances. For instance, Bai Xiang's true inheritance, even the secret of 5 Xiangs, the true inheritance of Paradise Earth in the Blue Dragon Whale. Clues to Red Lotus's true inheritance, clues to Reckless Savage's true inheritance. Naturally, these true inheritances were hard to obtain. If not for this, Shadow Sect would have already taken them and used them to increase their foundation and help in refining sovereign immortal fetus goo. Even without these clues, just Spectral Soul's own true inheritances were an enormous gain. Spectral Soul Demon. Venerable had used all kinds of soul path methods to massacre life forms of the 5 regions. His soul-devouring method could absorb the experiences and memories of its prey. His split soul technique created generations of Shadow Sect members. His soul replacement technique could create a masterpiece spy, like Sixth Hair, and he had even inserted a spy in Heavenly Court. Furthermore, his own soul cultivation, his final form, Fang Yuan could clearly remember how Spectral Soul had used his soul alone to resist the tribulations in the Battle of Yitin Mountain. Right now, there were 2 most important matters in front of Fang Yuan. First was information path. He needed to resolve the investigative killer move on him, as well as various alliance agreements, and regain his freedom. Second was wisdom goo. Fang Yuan had now already grasped the method to undo the soul path Dao marks in his immortal zombie body. At that time, he could regain wisdom goo's acknowledgement and obtain the massive help of the light of wisdom. Bai Ningbing continued. I already have yin-yang rotation goo now, but I need to advance it to immortal level before I can reverse this female body. But refinement path is too vast and profound. Yin-yang rotation goo is also not my vital goo. I don't have confidence in doing so. Fang Yuan nodded. I understand. Shadow Sect will help you refine it. This is what your agreement with Shadow Sect was. I am now the leader of Shadow Sect. I can also acknowledge the previous agreement, because we will need to rely on each other for a long time now. Isn't that right? It is good you have such awareness. Bai Ningbing lightly glanced at Fang Yuan before leaving in satisfaction. To speak of it, Shadow Sect had more women than men. Bai Ningbing, He Lu Lan, Lady White Rabbit, and Fairy Miao Yin were all female immortals. Only Ying Wu Shi and Fang Yuan were males. After this round of discussions, Fang Yuan, the new Shadow Sect leader, had obtained true acknowledgement. As for Ying Wu Shi, he was still in a dispirited state. He turned a deaf ear to everything Fang Yuan said. Killing intent surged in Fang Yuan's mind, and he wanted to end Ying Wu Shi's life, taking all the immortal goo as well as grasping an excellent method like lead soul into dream. However, Fang Yuan thought of it and decided there was no hurry for now. He had already grasped all the contents of lead soul into dream and only lacked the goo worms. But this move had a huge burden on a goo immortal's mind. It was also complex and very difficult to learn. And there were other aspects that were even more difficult to take into consideration. Even if Fang Yuan took the immortal goo, he would have to spend some time before he could be proficient in it. Naturally, he also had other methods. For instance, the soul-devouring method. As long as he devoured Ying Wu Shi's soul, Fang Yuan would have memories and large amounts of experience related to lead soul into dream. Back then, when Ying Wu Shi had just been born, he was able to quickly use lead soul into dream. It was because the original split soul contained large amounts of memories pertaining to it. There was another reason as well, Sixth Hair. Sixth Hair was a spy placed in Longyao Blessed Land by Shadow Sect. Fang Yuan already knew of that. But after Fang Yuan became Shadow Sect's leader, he could not say for sure if he would obtain Sixth Hair's acknowledgement. Sixth Hair was one of the split souls of Spectral Soul, which had infiltrated into Langye Blessed Land and slowly grew up into a refinement path Gu Immortal. He and Fang Yuan had a hostile relation. Now all of a sudden, Fang Yuan had become the leader of Shadow Sect. Although it was Purple Mountain True Monarch's will, would Sixth Hair accept it? Fang Yuan did not have confidence. More importantly, Sixth Hair was not bound by an alliance agreement of Shadow Sect. He could not have that. If he had an information path alliance agreement, it could easily be seen through by Langya Land Spirit. His identity would be exposed. After all, no matter which Langya Land Spirit it was, they were both refinement path experts. They naturally had all kinds of methods to see the Dao marks in immortal materials. Fang Yuan did not know what Sixth Hair's stance would be, but he understood that if he casually sacrificed Ying Wu Shi and took away his goo worms, there would be little hope of Sixth Hair acknowledging him. Sixth Hair did not have high value himself, but he was a member of Langya Sect. If used properly, who was to say that he would not be of help to Fang Yuan in the future to topple the whole of Langya Sect? Fang Yuan did not want to lose this possibility for the moment. The gains could not match the losses. As such, Fang Yuan chose to let Lady White Rabbit look over Ying Wuxi, while he entered closed cultivation to resolve the investigative killer move on him. When Purple Mountain True Monarch's immortal goo ended up in Fang Yuan's hands, they were no longer a comprehensive set. However, these goo worms could barely form an immortal killer move called Wisdom Balances Calamity, which could dispel the hidden dangers to oneself. Although it was not specially suited to his needs, it was the strongest method Fang Yuan could use currently. Fang Yuan had never used Wisdom Balances Calamity, but fortunately, its structure was simple. It used few immortal goo, and its steps were uncomplicated as well. If it were a complex killer move, Fang Yuan would not have chosen to attempt it so lightly. Red Date Immortal Essence started to be expended as goo worms activated according to Fang Yuan's thoughts and will. Shortly after, a mysterious light spread out from Fang Yuan's body. Bam! The next moment, the mysterious light suddenly collapsed, producing a muffled sound. Fang Yuan's body slightly shook, two streams of blood flowing down his nose. The activation had failed. However, this situation was within Fang Yuan's expectations. New killer moves needed to be attempted many times before they could be successfully activated. Man as before. Fang Yuan quickly recovered to his prime state and began to try again. Second try, failure. Third try, failure. Fifth try, sixth try, failure. While Fang Yuan was activating the killer move, in southern borders Wu clan, Supreme Elder Wu Yifei was facing a small goo formation. This goo formation was only the size of a water vat, but it used as many as 1,000 goo worms. The goo formation was spread on the ground and was controlled by 3 other Wu clan goo immortals, who were continuously pouring in their immortal essence. The goo formation activated and started revolving quickly like a whirlpool. Ready? Wu Fa asked. The 3 Wu clan goo immortals nodded slightly, their attention completely on controlling this immortal goo formation. Wu Fa slowly spread his hand open, revealing 2 mortal goo in it. A life tablet goo and a soul lantern goo. He carefully tossed these 2 goo worms into the goo formation. These 2 mortal goo were quickly engulfed and disappeared in the whirlpool. The rotation speed of the whirlpool suddenly increased by several times. Sweat covered the foreheads of all 3 Wu clan goo immortals. Their expressions turned pale and their bodies started trembling. After continuing for a while, 2 goo immortals directly collapsed on the ground, unconscious. The only remaining one slowly opened his eyes and gave a location with extreme exhaustion. Wu Fa quickly transmitted this location to Wu Yong. Wu Yihai is likely to have been taken captive by Shadow Sect. Since his life tablet goo has not shattered, we can use this crucial clue to find Shadow Sect's hideout. Plunder Shadow Earth Trench. Thinking of this, Wu Yong called out to the southern border righteous forces. I have a clue. Follow me. Plunder Shadow Earth Trench. Fang Yuan's expression was unsightly. Wisdom Balances Calamity actually cannot break the investigative killer. Move on me. It seems I need to use a stronger method. At this time, Heilulan's urgent voice reached Fang Yuan's ears. The situation is not good. Plunder Shadow Earth. Trench's goo formation suddenly broke. It can prevent others' deductions. It seems our location is exposed. I already know. Fang Yuan was not surprised. He was in control of this goo formation. Any problem in the goo formation would be immediately known by him. Fang Yuan was not panicking at the incoming peril. He had already thought of a way. Everyone, come over. We need to practice the ancient battle formation omnidirectional travel.